Welcome to Neo Royal, House of Pricey Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, we are back with some more competitive EDH. These are not top of the meta decks, but they are really high in the power level scale. I will be playing today with Jiro, aka Unsummoned Skull. He's a great supporter and friend of the channel, running a Discord in his spare time to find games of Commander. It includes chats for a lot of different formats, and you can join with the link in the description. My second guest today is Gabe, aka ICETEP. Gabe makes awesome music and you can check it out on Spotify. Last but not least, we have another game with ProxyLab. Check him out on Twitter for proxies and other various projects from his creative mind. Skull will be playing Siani, Eye of the Storm, partnered with Eligeth Crossroads Augur. This is a flying man type of deck looking to play a lot of small creatures with evasions and take out his opponents with combat damage, big card advantage and extra turns. It's basically a mono blue version of what you might see with Edric the Spy Master. Gabe will be playing his partner pair of Jeska, Thrice Reborn and Kraum Ludevic's Opus. This is another aggressive list trying to use Jeska's triple damage and Kraum's haste to deal big chunks of damage in one turn. Jeska being really good at controlling small creatures and Kraum being a card draw engine makes this pair really solid. The rest of the deck is a lot of control magic, some extra combat steps, double strike pump spells and a windfall narrated combo. Proxy's deck is his original cEDH list, Teferi, Temporal, Archmage. This deck used to be really strong in slower meta, the new decks kinda pushed it aside for the new toys. It's still a very powerful deck if the game lasts a bit longer, creating some kind of loop with the Chainveil and other mana producing artifacts. I will be playing Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow. This is not my personal list, I took it on the cEDH database. Named Yuriko Pivot, it was the version closer to the way I play high power Yuriko. So high CMC spell, reduced by effects like Delve or alternative cost, a Doomsday pile, and of course a Tassa's Oracle line. All of this with all the dimir tutoring and controlling you may wish for. Skull's opening hand contains Jace's Phantasm, Mind Shrieker, Profaner of the Dead, Aura Thief, Reconnaissance Mission, Split Decision, and a basic island. Gabe's opening hand contains Magus of the Moon, Narset Parter of Veils, Dak Faden, Preordain, Izzet Signet, Shivan Reef, and a snow-covered mountain. Proxy's opening hand contains Gitaxian Probe, Mana Drain, Tolaria West, Mystic Sanctuary, and 3 basic islands. My opening hand contains Phyrexian Walker, Bitter Blossom, Limdu's Vault, Null Rod, Spell Pierce, Scalding Tarn, and a Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Gabe gets to start this off, and land drops a Shivan Reef. He uses it to cast Preordain. I land drop a Scalding Tarn before casting Phyrexian Walker, and an Anarni Topter. That's a 0-2. Big pass.
Oh boy! That's not gonna do it.
Proxy land drops an island, he then casts Gitaxian Probe targeting me. I send it to you on the le Twitter.
Le Twitter.
Le Twitter.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Oh, that's gross. Oof. Alright. Thank you.
Skull land drops an island and casts Jace's Phantasm. Gabe land drops Steam Vents untapped and casts Izzet Signet. At the end step, I crack my fetch land for an Underground Sea. I land drop a Flooded Strand and heading into combat send a Topter and Walker to Gabe. Reacting to blocks, I crack my fetch land for a Watery Grave untapped and ninjutsu my commander, Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow. They're already here. Yuriko then connects for 1. I reveal Gemstone Cavern off the top. In second main, I recast the Phyrexian Walker and pass. Proxy land drops an island and casts Mana Vapors on me. On Skull's turn, he casts Mind Shrieker.
For 2 mana, target player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Mana Shrieker gets +X until end of turn where X is the card's converted mana cost.
Ooh.
Now I can deal more damage based on your cards.
And you can wreck my tutors, so that's pretty good. For his combat step, he sends the Phantasm to me. Gabe land drops a snow-covered island and casts Magus of the Moon.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh no, that's bad.
And then I'll pass after that.
Oh, would you look at that? All these basic islands. You're going to be so upset.
I like you, Gabe. Nice to meet you.
I'll drop Gemstone Caverns and go to combat. I send Yuriko to proxy, Yuriko triggers, and I reveal Village Rites from the top. Proxy then drops an island and pass. On Skull's turn, he starts with combat, sending the Shrieker and Phantasm to me. Once I declare no blocks, he activates the bird to mill my top card. I mill Fairy Seer, giving +1/+1 to the bird. Gabe then drops a snow-covered mountain and casts his commander, Kraum, Ludevic's Opus.
It's alive! It's alive!
I'm gonna mana drain it.
Sure.
I like 5 mana.
Heading for retaliation, the Magus attacks proxy. I untap all my mountains and go to combat. I send Yuriko to Gabe. I reveal Mental Misstep to the Yuriko trigger. In second main, I'll then drop Reborn, Tomb of Yawgmoth as a mountain, and cast Null Rod. Proxy untaps and gets 5 colorless mana from the mana drain. He transmutes Tolaria West for Mana Crypt and pass.
Look at that, I'm helping everyone out.
Yeah. For sure.
Skull goes straight to combat, sending the Mind Shrieker to me. Once unblocked, he activates the bird, milling my Lotus Petal. I then take one. In second main, Skull casts Artificer's Assistant and pass. Gabe then drops Evolving Wild. He then casts his second commander, Jeska, Thrice Reborn. He -1 the Planeswalker to deal 1 damage to all 3 creatures on Skull's side. He then casts Assault Strobe, granting double strike to his Magus, and sending it in Skull's direction as well.
Another mountain. Excellent.
I untap and go to combat. Yuriko attacks Gabe, and I reveal Mox Diamond to the Yuriko trigger.
Take one. I'm gonna reveal 1 card. Mox
Send the
Diamond.
Ornithopter at the Planeswalker.
Oh, I just played myself. No.
You did. You know,
No, that would have been colors. Dang.
Brutal. So brutal.
In second main, I cast the Mox Diamond, pitching Misty Rainforest and passing. Proxy then drops a Mystic Sanctuary and casts the Mana Crypt. He then casts Torpor Orb and pass. Skull draws for turn, and in a desperate attempt to hit a land drop, cycles Reconnaissance Mission. This sadly misses and he passes. Gabe then drops a snow-covered mountain. He uses the Zero ability on Magus of the Moon, before heading into combat, sending the Magus to proxy. We go to my turn, and still digging for one of my 4 basics, I go to combat. Yuriko goes to Gabe once more, and reacting to attackers, Gabe casts Lightning Bolt to destroy my commander. I react with Mental Misstep, countering the removal. Gabe then takes 1, and I reveal Doomsday, making my opponents lose 3. I then discard Doomsday to end size, unable to cast anything. Proxy succeeds his Mana Crypt roll. He then casts a non-overloaded Cyclonic Rift, returning my Null Rod to my hand.
Yes.
Under my thumb.
After that, he casts Thran Dynamo and pass. Skull draws, and looking for some form of card advantage, casts Aqueous Form, enchanting the Magus of the Moon. Gabe then drops a snow-covered island, and then casts Dak Faden, using the -2 to steal the Thran Dynamo. Proxy taps it before it changes controller. Gabe then uses the Zero ability on Jeska to triple the Magus damage, sending it to Skull on his combat step. The aura triggers, letting Skull scry 1. At the end step, I cast Deadly Relic for free, targeting the Magus. Skull reacts with Split Decision. He votes for Denial, while all other players vote for Duplicate, so Skull gets a copy of Deadly Relic, exiling Yuriko while I exile the Magus of the Moon. Still in the end step, I cast Limdol's Vault. I take 1 damage to skip the first 5 and order the second 5. We then go to my turn. I start with combat, sending my Topter and Walker to Gabe. With no blocks declared, I ninjutsu Yuriko on the Walker. Gabe takes 1 and I reveal Seagate Restoration off the top, making my opponent loses 7. In second main, I recast Phyrexian Walker and follow it up with Bitter Blossom. Proxy succeeds his mana crypt roll. He then casts Tezzeret the Seeker, using the minus ability to tutor a 0-cost artifact to his board, getting a Mox Opal. He then casts Sapphire Medallion and pass. Skull draws and casts Sprite Noble. He then shifts the turn to Gabe. On his turn, Gabe recasts Kraum. He then +1 DAC to loot, discarding Torrential Gearhulk. Jeska triples Kraum's damage, and we head into combat. Kraum attacks Proxy for 12 commander damage. In second main, Gabe cracks the Evolving Wild for a mountain and pass. Before we go to my turn, I cast Village Rites on Yuriko, drawing 2. At my upkeep, I make a Fairy and lose 1 life. I then drop a Shizo Death Storehouse before going to combat. I send a Walker to Gabe and ninjutsu Yuriko once it's unblocked. Gabe takes 1 and I reveal a Soul Ring off the top. In second main, I cast the Soul Ring and then recast Phyrexian Walker, triggering Kraum for a draw. Reacting to the draw, Gabe casts Mystical Tutor, searching for Windfall on top of his deck and drawing it. I recast Null Rod.
Damn it, Neo. You and your null rod.
Hey, I just got Magus of the Moon for like 6 turns. I'm allowed to play Null Rod. Gonna play a black for the Changeling Outcast.
I then cast Changeling Outcast before passing.
It's all good. Oh, will you stay on the thing?
Oh boy.
Big draws, big draws.
You're lucky I flipped a 1-drop on my Yuriko trigger.
Proxy fails his mana crypt roll. He then casts the Chainveil. Out of time, he -4 Tezzeret searching for something to save him.
Ha!
Boom pile?
Curse totem. Fuck your Yuriko. That's all I got.
I don't think it works with Yuriko because I have it in my
It
deck.
doesn't.
Players cannot
It's
play
an
any...
creature abilities requiring an activation cost. Yours is an activated ability, my friend. So
Yeah,
if
but it's not on the
Yuriko-
table, right?
I think you're right because it's in the hand or on the thing. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, I can't research.
On his turn, Skull casts Arm with Ether. He heads into combat, sending the Sprite to me, and I block with my own Fairy. On his turn, Gabe casts Narset Parter of Veils. Reacting to the spell, I cast Brainstorm.
Oh, please have it in hand. Please.
So
do
I'll
it.
draw
Please.
3 and put 2 back.
Come on, counter.
Oh boy. I will...
People not counter.
Gabe then casts the earlier tutored Windfall. Skull reacts with Daze, and Gabe pays the additional 1. I then add a spell Pierce for 2 more on the cost, and because of the Null Rod, Gabe does not have enough to pay.
I do not have the second mana because the Null Rod turns off my other manas. So Windfall is countered.
Nice.
Teamwork, Neo.
Right.
Good job.
Gabe -2 Narset to look at his top 4, putting Sleight of Hand to his hand. He then -2 DAC to gain control of my Ornithopter, which is never a good sign. Jeska tripled Kraum's damage again with the 0 ability, and for his combat step, he sends Kraum to me. At my upkeep, I lose 1 to make a Fairy. I'll then drop a Verdant Catacombs and cast Diabolic Intent, sacrificing the Fairy to tutor. I also crack the Catacomb for basic swamps while being in my deck. Going to combat, I send Yuriko, the Changeling, and Walker to Skull. No blocks are declared, and I reveal Darkwater Catacombs and snuff out of the triggers, taking Proxy out. In second main, I realize that I have only 2 blue mana untapped, denying the card I tutored for, Temporal Trespass. Instead, I cast Tetsuko, Umizawa Fugitive, triggering Kraum, and then a Cursed Totem, before passing. Skull finally land drops an island. He goes to combat, sending the Sprite to me. Gabe land drops a snow-covered mountain. He uses Jeska's -1 to deal 1 damage to me, Skull, and my Changeling. He then -2 Narset, putting Underworld Breach to his hand from the top 4. After that, he casts Price of Progress, taking me out of the game. He recasts Jeska, which enters with 4 loyalty, using the 0 to triple Kraum's damage. For the final strike, Kraum's attacks call for 12 commander damage, claiming this victory. Well played. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I will leave links to all my guests in the description, you can check them out on Twitter. Skull's game Discord will be down there as well as Gabe's music. Thank you to our Patreon supporting the show in a direct way. Take care my friend and we'll see you very soon.